I'm Tom with Leap, and I'll be your host. But I'm also joined by Tom Davis of Signpost. You can see Tom's face there, and he got a hell of a mustache. That's awesome. You grew in the beard, but I like the picture there with the mustache. It's pretty cool.
Denver, it's getting cold in Colorado, so gotta throw the beard back out again.
Awesome. Well, if you don't mind, can you give our audience a quick introduction of who you are and what you do at Signpost?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, Tom and Kelly, thank you so much for organizing this. To the attendees that we have today, thank you so much for spending your day with us. Really excited to talk with you. As Tom mentioned, I am Tom Davis from Signpost. I head up our strategic partnership opportunities, and that encompasses things like our tech partnerships like Leap, as well as some of our agency partners. So if you are in the industry and need help with website design and things like that, we're building out that network and making sure that you are connected to grow your business. But yeah, very excited to be here and looking forward to talking through the customer experience today.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Tom. Glad to have you on here. It's funny. We were like, okay, we've got Tom B, Tom D. I'm living outside of Baltimore. Tom's outside of Denver. We've got the B&D thing. I don't know. This is like a Tom squared webinar. So
that's it.
Hopefully we don't confuse you with Tom said and Tom said. But anyways, wanted to give you a quick overview of Leap. If you're not already familiar, Leap's a subscription-based cloud software that companies of all sizes can use. It integrates with some of the top home improvement softwares and companies like Signpost, bringing everything together in one place for you. It also helps get rid of redundancies and errors that slow down your sales process by digitizing it. It includes estimates, contracts and proposals, brochures, and gives you the ability to offer financing on the spot. It also allows you to get a leg up on your competition and scale and grow your business. So all of this while simplifying the sales process and giving homeowners a great positive experience. Tom, I'll let you give an introduction of Signpost, and then I'll actually hand kind of this over to you and let you tell us a little bit more.
Sure, sounds great. Thanks so much, Tom. So as Tom Bosch mentioned, I head up partnerships with Signpost, and we're an all-in-one marketing and communication platform for folks in the home services industry. We've been around for 10 years, and we've recognized over the last year that our largest core audience is those folks that are providing services out in the field. And so we're really tailoring the product to make sure that we're helping you capture the lead, get that job. And once the job's completed, making sure that you're capturing both the review and the opportunity to continue the long tail marketing piece of it all. So really excited to integrate with Leap. We think they've got a wonderful point of sale solution for folks out in the field, and really happy to be here today to talk to you all about that lead generation piece, how to follow through on the sale, and then what does the long tail marketing look like to provide that great customer experience. So with that being said, I did want to cover a couple of stats today. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this particular slide and all of the numbers that we're showing here, but I do want to call out a couple of interesting trends that we've noticed over the years. First, 90% of people want multiple communication options like online messaging and text. So the ways in the past that we've just kind of reached out in that phone book, called and left a voicemail and hope that we get a call back, the younger generation and these first-time home buyers are wanting more ways to communicate with your business. And what we're seeing as a result of that is as they are working their tails off and trying to save for their first home, they don't have time to call you during working hours. And what we're seeing is about 30% of outreach to folks in the home services industry are happening after hours. And so what we want to try to do is solve that window where you are missing that lead opportunity. And one of the ways that Signpost is doing that is by introducing a chat product. And what our initial chat product has found is that 40% of website visitors, when they are coming onto your site to inquire about your services, are engaging with the chat to try to learn more information. And of that 40%, 20% of them are actually using that as an opportunity to get more information from your business, like additional ways to contact them, or they're scheduling an appointment directly from within that chat product itself. So it's a really great way to capture this opportunity of 90% of consumers that want additional ways to communicate with you outside of a traditional email and phone number, and give them a way to do it when it makes sense for their schedules, which, as you noticed here, we're finding is outside of the normal working hours there. So Kelly, if I could get you to kind of move through the next slide here. As a result of those numbers that we just shared, Signpost has introduced this new chat product so that you don't lose those lead opportunities when you're at home eating dinner with your family. So to kind of share a bit of a personal experience, I grew up in a landscaping family. Family business started in 1948. My dad didn't have much in the way of kind of technology and receiving voicemails and things along those lines. He was very kind of old school in that way. So if his phone rang at 8 p.m. and we were at the dinner table, he'd have to hop up and take the call or else he'd miss the lead. So we want to make sure that you as the home service provider have an opportunity to really enjoy your family time after hours and let an automated solution like a chat product on your website field those leads on your behalf. So when you think about a chat product, it's no longer just a pop-up bubble that says, are you there? Can we get more information? They're becoming very intelligent, and you can do things like pre-program them with FAQs that you may receive. Do you work with particular insurance providers if I've had an emergency? Can you come on the weekends? Is there an opportunity to say, show me things like work you've done before and pre-populate the chatbot with images of the work that you've been putting out in the field so that that individual can gain a bunch of information about you to decide that they want to do business with you. So some of the more common use cases that we see are those FAQs. If you do have it enabled to forward to your cell phone via the Signpost mobile app, you can text directly within there, and you can actually become way more efficient with your scheduling of your trucks and services by connecting it with your calendar. So that way the lead has the opportunity to schedule time that fits with both them and your working schedules. Now, a moment ago, I did mention the opportunity of being able to enable a really fast response time by forwarding to your phone. Kelly, if you'll go to the next slide there, one of the things I did want to call out is we have the opportunity to take something like the normal business landline and go ahead and forward it to that mobile app. So that way somebody has an opportunity to respond to you after working hours if you're up for it. And this is, again, a great way to make sure that you are staying top of mind for this newer generation of folks that want additional ways to communicate with you. So if you remember on that first slide, we said 90% of consumers want additional ways to communicate with you. We want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of those new communication methods so you're not missing the lead. I'm going to share another quick, just kind of personal anecdote here. I have a 2005 4Runner. I reached out to a local mom and pop mechanic, husband-wife duo. I called at 4:45, closing times at 5 p.m. I got a voicemail, and it simply said, hey, we're out of the office. If you'll text the number you just called, we'll get back to you shortly. And with our chat product, I kind of thought, okay, we'll give this a shot. Sure enough, I texted the landline phone number. Within about 30 minutes, I got a response from the owner that said, thanks so much for reaching out. I was in the car. I didn't feel safe replying to you via text, but we're at home. What can we do for you? And I was able to schedule an appointment to get the car looked at within about 5 minutes via text message. So it was a really, really pleasant experience to kind of leverage this new technology to make sure that we are getting a great experience with the businesses that we want to work with. And with that being said, in this example of me being able to text and schedule time with the business to come get checked out, this is where something like Leap would come into play because you've already gotten the lead through an online chat product. You're not missing those folks after hours, and you've already got something scheduled on the books, which gives your technicians an opportunity to say, take something like a mobile point of sale system out to the field to meet with clients. And from there, we'll turn it over to Tom to talk about that workflow.
I see what you did there, Tom. That was very nice.
Thanks, Tom.
Good transition. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that excites me the most about partnering with Signpost is the fact that the two of us together really provide you an end-to-end solution. Focusing on our specialties. And so, as Tom said, nurturing that homeowner and getting them to the point where they become a very warm lead, and you set an appointment, and now your sales reps are out there running that appointment. I want to walk through with you some best practices, throughout that appointment, taking you from beginning to closing that deal. So, and I've got some screenshots here of Leap that I'll show you along the way. But more importantly, there's 5 things I want to talk to you about. The first one is capture as much data as possible. And so when you're out there with a homeowner, it's really important to capture all this information, not only about the homeowner but also the home. Things like have you ever financed a project before? What about your home do you not like? All these types of questions will help not only, I should say, first establish what that current state is. It gives you a lay of the land. It lets you know what to focus on, and it helps you identify opportunities. You may have gotten a lead for, maybe they said their roof is leaking. You get out to the home and you start doing an assessment with them, and you find out that they're not happy with their siding. They'd love to have a deck put in. They've got a leaky basement window. All these different things that didn't surface on that initial inquiry into your on your website. All of these things will help you identify potentially new business, and so that opens up the door for cross-selling opportunities, again, where you're out there to maybe repair their roof, but you also have the capacity and the ability to help them with their windows or their siding. You now are able to capture that data, so whether you do it today or you do it down the road, you have that information. So that can lead to things like rehashing campaigns where you go out to the home, you don't sell on the first appointment, but you can now follow up and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, you had told me that you were really concerned about that leak you have on your roof. Is it still leaking? Yes. Awesome. I'm not sure why we didn't move forward. So it just gives you more data, more information to use as you're working to close that lead. And then also upselling opportunities, right? They may tell you that they don't want just a basic architectural shingle. They want that one they saw down the road that looks like slate. And so it gives you more opportunities to approach them about upselling opportunities. Next thing, provide transparency in your estimate. This one's hard for a lot of contractors. They think their price is a secret formula, and it's secret to them, and they can't let anybody know what goes into it. But really, by providing transparency, you're going to relax that customer. You're going to build trust and credibility with them. You're going to show them that your company is taking the necessary steps to replace again, whatever may be wrong, whether it's the roof or the window or the sidings or the bath or the flooring or whatever it may be. You can emphasize value and not price, because if you can't emphasize value, you're going to compete with every other company that comes out to give them an estimate purely on what your price is. So it's important that you're transparent in your price and let them know, why are you charging for this? Why are you charging for that? What is the difference in these materials, right? Because Chuck in the Truck may have a 15-pound felt paper and you may be using some synthetic underlayment. And it's important to let that customer know what the difference is in those materials. Also helps you build knowledge and with the customer. You're educating them, right? This is their often. Most people only replace the roof one time. So again, if you're a roofing contractor, I know I'm kind of speaking directly to roofing contractors, but if you're a roofing contractor, right, the homeowners only do that project once in a lifetime, and so they don't know what the process goes into that. The same can be said for people that are replacing their bathroom or maybe doing siding or windows. It's often the first time that they're doing those, and they don't understand the process involved. So it's really important to not only show them the different material that you're using and the process that you're going to go through, but show them the transparency there. And hey, this costs this much because this is what's involved in it, right? We're going to have 4 or 5 people on your property. They're going to be removing that old siding or taking out the window, putting in the new one. These are the steps we're taking, and so this is why it costs X amount of money. And then it also forces you to up your pricing game. And by that, what I mean by that is to really dive into some of those nitty gritty details and understand what your pricing is. A lot of folks that come on to Leap and set it up, they sort of use it as an audit of, hey, why am I charging what I'm charging? Yeah, maybe I'm only charging, or maybe I'm charging a per square price of $400 a square to replace your roof. But really, what are the components involved in there? And is there, am I overpricing in some places and underestimating in other areas, right? So it's good to really get into the details and understand where your value lies. Then I want to talk about some components of a powerful sales presentation. So it's really important to have a powerful story. I think I saw a statistic that was like 65% of successful presentations are stories. So it's telling your story. Present your story and your team to humanize your company and increase likability. It's really important. You want to make sure that you include the reasons why your company and product came to be. Tell your audience, what motivates your team to wake up and work every day, and offer tips that are personal and will make your audience smile. It's really important to deliver those to your customer, whether that be through a sales presentation, maybe a PowerPoint, or maybe you use our presentation from our partners Engage, but something that tells what that company story is. You also need to have, an enticing solution. Show them, what products you're using, what warranties back them up. Maybe some, before and after photos that relay that message. And that sort of ties into the proof, right? Customers are often asking, how do I believe you? So you should be able to show them and give them, testimonials, share any kind of research and data, and be able to compare your products versus the competitors' products. So by leveraging different manufacturer information, your own company story, before and after photos, links, websites, videos, maybe you use company cam, and really leverage all of those pieces and components to tell your story. And then add urgency. You need to, the homeowner needs to feel that sense of urgency. I think we're all in agreement there. And then focus on the benefits. Again, if you're focusing on price, you're focusing on the wrong thing. This is a big one for me. Always offer payment options. This is, I sort of smile and laugh about this because I heard a statistic that said something like 3 to 7% of roofing jobs are financed. And in the window world and the bath world, it's more like 50 to 70% of jobs are financed. And some of the largest customers that we work with finance. Their revenue is 50 to 60% based on financing volume. And so one of the things I hear when I talk to customers about financing and ask them, hey, are you offering financing? Like, no, all my customers pay me cash. And then I ask them, well, what other options are you giving them? Right? If you're only giving them cash as an option, you're not offering financing. Well, certainly then all your customers are going to be cash payers. So it's important to always offer financing. It's all around us, and it's the way we have cell phone bills, car, my Netflix, cable. Everything we do today is based on a monthly payment, and so by giving your customers an option of a monthly payment, you're going to increase the likelihood of closing that deal. Also, allow homeowners to extend out the time or make it more affordable. What I mean by this is that you're giving your customers, the ability to maybe have a 36-month no interest, no payment, or a 12-month no interest, no payment. And what you're doing here, what savvy customers are doing is saying, hey, I do have the $10 or $15 or $20,000 for this project, but you're giving me a no interest, no payment over 12 months. And not to get too far in the weeds, but if I can let that money, invest that money and earn interest on it, I could be making 2, 3, 4, 5, 10% on that money over that length of time. So, some contractors will say, well, I don't need to offer financing because all my customers have the money to pay for their projects. And that's totally acceptable and is probably true. And so one of the misconceptions is that, financing it's insulting. It's for maybe folks that can't afford our projects, but really it's for many people who just have the preference to not, give their money to you and let it, again, earn interest. So there's a lot of fear in offering financing. A lot of times you think like, oh boy, I have to speak to this. I may be degrading them. I don't want to offer this. I'm not intelligent about the different financing options and what may benefit them. But and also how do I factor in a dealer fee? So a lot of this is the fear of the unknown, of not having the right training, not understanding that financing is another cost of good associated with a project. And so by having a little bit of training on that, a little comfortable, making yourselves comfortable about the process will really go a long way to giving your customers the ability to pay with financing to help increase ticket sizes and close more projects. I also wanted to talk real quickly about like the cash versus budget buyers. A cash buyer may prefer plans that let them pay off early to avoid any interest, versus a budget buyer may prefer plans that give low monthly payments. And so it's important to offer your customers both options and let them decide, right? A budget buyer may not have the $10,000 or $15,000 for their project, but they can definitely afford, $100 or $200 a month to make payments on that. So it's important to understand there's two different buyers there, and financing can help both of those buyers out. The last thing I'll say about this is, sorry, Kelly. Last thing I'll say about this is offer it proactively, not reactively. you definitely want to promote financing everywhere. Put it in your ads, put it on social, let folks know that you offer financing, because if you don't offer financing, what could happen is a customer sees your presentation, they love your company, they like you, and they really want to go with you, but you didn't give them an option that fits their needs. And so they're going to continue to shop until they find somebody who does make it affordable and gives them the options that fit their budget. So, be proactive in it, talk about it often, early and often. When a call comes in and you've got your financing out there, let them know, hey, are you calling to take advantage of our 12-month no interest promotion we have going on? Or when your sales rep goes out there, make sure they're asking those questions in that early assessment. Have you ever financed a project? Are you looking at financing options? Did you hear about our special promotion? This way it's being brought up and it's not retroactively as a way to say save a deal or as a backup. You're putting it out there and giving your customers the option. Thanks, Kelly. And lastly, be prepared, right? Close the deal from anywhere. In today's environment, you just never know, where that homeowner's comfortability level lies, right? Whether they want to meet face to face, maybe outside in the driveway. The company that uses Leap, I saw, they've got a folding chair, a couple folding chairs, and a folding table. And if the customer wants to meet outside, they do that. They're well equipped and prepared to meet the customer where they are. And then you also may have those customers that would prefer a virtual meeting. And so, be prepared, have a plan to meet with those customers and to be able to facilitate a deal. Leap gives you the ability via a DocuSign integration to send and receive contracts so that you're able to capture those signatures and complete those contracts, whether you're in person or whether you're remote like we are. So make sure that you're prepared, make sure you have a plan. And then lastly, make sure you have a plan to capture payment as well. So, calling in a credit card number over the phone isn't the safest and most ideal situation. But again, through Leap's platform, you can actually do this securely. So at the end here, I'm gonna hand it back over to Tom to talk more about what happens now post deployment. But at the end, I'll talk more about how Leap can help in these 5 steps.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. So in this example, you've leveraged Leap, you've offered the payment opportunities to your client, you've got the job's completed, and you've finalized all your payments. So what happens next kind of on this customer experience side? Well, first, if you are integrating your payment processors or your accounting platforms with Signpost, we'll automatically import that data to recognize that the job's been completed. And we'll automatically ask this homeowner for a review to see how the business was. We'll go ahead and reach out and we will ask for a review on Google, Facebook, Yelp, really whichever platform that you're prioritizing to grow your reputation. In this example, we're going to leverage Google here because we want to make sure that you as the small business owner are helping to get to the top of that local SEO result. So when somebody like Nancy here says, you know what, my experience with Smith & Sons was awesome, 5 stars, couldn't ask for more. What that actually does is not only is it your public testimonial, but it tells Google that Smith & Sons is an active business. They seem to be doing a really great job because their clients are leaving 5-star reviews. And if you use a solution like Signpost and you're getting those more regular reviews, it'll actually tell Google that this is a really reputable business that seems to be doing good work. Let's start trying to inch them to the top of those local search results. And I do want to give you just kind of one tip here. This is my favorite thing that I've learned since I've joined Signpost. When I myself am looking for a home service provider or any service provider, whatever it may be, if I type best contractor near me, it will automatically remove anybody with less than a 4-star review. So it is very, very important that if you are using Signpost, you've got the review generation turned on to help your business stay in that top tier. And if you're not using a review solution quite yet, that's totally fine. Just don't be afraid to follow up with your customers to ask them to leave those public reviews because it's really going to help your business. Now, Let's look at what might happen if, for example, you went to the appointment and you leveraged Leap, but the client wasn't ready to buy yet. Let's look at kind of what that marketing aspect would look like. And so this is what we're looking at in terms of this long tail marketing solution. So Signpost historically was the review reputation management piece before getting into this all-in-one comms platform like we talked about. And so you've got the lead, but they haven't quite bought yet. So we've got some opportunities to communicate with them in various life cycle stages. The first is you've added that contact to Leap. They didn't buy. That's okay. Leap will actually pass that customer information over to Signpost, and we will assign them this new prospective client lifecycle stage. If you did win the job and we import that information from your payment system, we'll go ahead and assign them as an active loyal client. And if for whatever reason they stop transacting with your business over the course of about 6 months or so, we'll automatically move them into this notion of a win back stage where we want to try to get them back to your business. So Kelly, if I can go ahead and get you to move to the next slide here. I want to talk about a couple of things that you can be doing as a business owner in terms of goals for your email marketing, regardless of kind of where they are in the life cycle stage. My background prior to joining Signpost, I spent 6+ years at MailChimp. And one of the things that always stood out to me there was for every $1 invested in email marketing, on average, you see a return of about $45. So it is an excellent, excellent way to be an ongoing opportunity to generate more business. So take some time to sit down and think about, are you leveraging email marketing with your company? And are you using it as an opportunity to kind of surprise and delight your potential client, right? So a couple of things that you want to think through is, are you positioning yourself as a local expert, right? You are the subject matter expert on plumbing, roofing, windows, sidings, whatever it may be. Use it as an opportunity to help coach up your potential client. You know, as a result of educating your clients and being that local resource, you're helping to build that trust with the local homeowners. And it's allowing you to actually get into more conversations with these prospective customers because now they understand you as that local trusted expert, and they want to make sure that you are top of mind when that need might arise. So something to think through. You don't have to spend 5 days going into super deep kind of internal thought processes to figure out what are these major goals, but use it as an opportunity to introduce yourself, your business, and why you are the expert that you are. So Kelly, if I can get you to go to the next slide here. One of the ways that we recommend folks do this is by leveraging something called Evergreen Content. Evergreen Content is effectively messaging and materials that you can use over and over again for folks that are maybe in those various stages of their customer life cycle. So for something with a new customer, you might want to introduce yourself as the business. We're family owned, 5th generation, been in business for 40 years. This is why you should trust us as the local expert. If it's somebody that's an existing customer, we might look at things like maintenance, checklists, things along those lines. And then as well, if it's a win back customer, right, maybe we want to just show them some opportunities of why they should upgrade and how it's important for their home moving forward. So what I'd like to do now is kind of talk through a couple of these different scenarios and examples, just to give you a rough idea of what some of this content might look like, right? So when we talk about this tips for maintenance, this doesn't have to be getting into the weeds around, okay, you want to adjust this nut to this particular torque wrench setting or whatever it may be. But what are some simple things that you can provide your clients so that they can do them themselves, and you're empowering your customer to be knowledgeable about the product that you sold them. And then you're also staying top of mind again as not only were they an excellent person to work with, but they really showed me how to take care of this new gutter system that I bought and how to clean it out. So there's really, really great opportunity there to empower that client to do these small jobs around the home. And it also gives them an opportunity to come back to you to say, you know, again, hey, I was trying to clean out that gutter. I couldn't figure out how to remove the leaf guard. Do you have a pro tip on that? And maybe if that person doesn't feel comfortable doing it themselves, it's an opportunity for you to come out, help out the homeowner, and win that repeat business from them. So again, simple little things like basic maintenance tips that won't take away from you as the business expert and the owner, but gives an opportunity for the client to be thinking about you as they are maintaining their home, because roofs are pretty darn expensive. So there are other things like these checklist items. So what are these tools that you can send that might not be specifically maintenance, but things that they can start thinking through? So for example, I recently had my sprinkler system blown out and I had no idea where to begin. So I grew up in a landscaping family. We didn't get into sprinkler installations. I was just the grunt that laid sod. But there are definitely things that you can think of in these instances to send your clients, right? So is it getting down to freezing soon? Should we be sending out information to our clients like, hey, making sure that your faucets are turned so if they do freeze, they've got an opportunity to drip out? Are you covering those outside faucets, right? What are these things that you can be doing to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success, to make sure you're not potentially getting into long-term damage? And then the beauty here is if somebody, say, for example, isn't quite sure about how to winterize that final step of an outdoor faucet, it might give you an opportunity as a plumber or again, that landscaper professional to come in, finish the job for them, help coach them up, and continue being that trusted resource in the community and those homeowners. I keep talking about that notion of being the trusted resource. In my own experience of moving to Denver from Atlanta, we obviously have to do a lot more with the winterization steps that I wasn't accustomed to growing up. But being able to talk to my neighbors and say, who do you recommend? Why do you like them? People rave about a gentleman that works in my neighborhood because he will sit there and walk you through step by step of everything he's doing on his checklist to show you that the job's been done correctly. And then he leaves that checklist with you. So as you start to think about maybe unwinterizing your pipes and things along those lines, it's effectively just walking backwards through that checklist so you can do it yourself and you no longer need to spend $75 to have him come out. So it's a great way to build that trust and to empower that homeowner to start kind of learning more about those maintenance pieces. So this is another one that I love as well. So as Tom mentioned with the Leap component, Leap gives you the opportunity to really show you a few different solutions that are available, right? Do you want the good, better, best roof shingles, the windows, the sidings, whatever they may be? For things like HVAC in this particular example, we know that the government is giving out tax credits for more energy efficient items, whether they be, the HVAC unit, are you going to do solar, et cetera. So you might have installed a roof with somebody a long time ago, and it gives you an opportunity to come in and talk about maybe the benefits of new shingles that have been released. Is there a benefit of moving to solar or changing your HVAC system to something that's a little bit more efficient? So not only is it something that you've sold them and it's happened, it's not just a one-on-one transactional relationship. It gives the homeowner the opportunity to think, yeah, this guy's really got my interests in mind. I do want to save some money, and our HVAC has been kind of on the fritz. So it's a great way to talk about what are those tax credits. Do the individual manufacturers offer credits, right? Things that Owens Corning or Rheem offers that the average consumer's not going to know. So be an expert there. Show them ways to save money, and then hopefully that will lead to the eventual upsell to a new product or the opportunity for long-term maintenance programs. So again, just another idea with the Evergreen Content opportunity is, why is it beneficial? Can you save money in the long run? And if there's not an opportunity to potentially upsell for the upgrade, maybe there's an opportunity to get on a regular scheduled maintenance program so that that maybe older HVAC system is still healthy throughout the years. All right, this one is one of my favorites. So not only did I grow up in a landscaping family, my mom was a real estate agent. So I love this notion of the importance of inspections because as I was buying my first home in Atlanta, we inevitably ended up with a home that was the first time home buyers property that always had this notion of deferred maintenance. And so what was happening is every year somebody would buy the house, they would get the annual inspection done by the home inspector, and it was constantly the same things that were coming up. And so what was happening is that people weren't addressing them because they thought this is not our forever home. So that for us as a new home buyer wasn't the most ideal scenario. However, it gave us an opportunity to put together a checklist of really where we wanted to go with the home and what we wanted to tackle. And a lot of that resulted in water mitigation issues. So if you are living in areas like Colorado, Texas, the Southeast, where we get a lot of rain and humidity, it's really important important to make sure that you are educating your clients on the importance of these annual inspections. Again, whether it's the roof and making sure things are draining accordingly, you're not ending up with soffit damage. If you are running down a gutter spout into a French drain, is it clear? Is it not clogged? And thus not going to back up into the home in any way, shape, or form. And again, it gives you a good opportunity to stay in touch with the client to help them think through this proactive maintenance program, whether they're on a retainer or not, to make sure that they are taking advantage and taking care of such a large purchase price item. Now, the follow-up after major weather events piece is really fascinating to me. Colorado is a very, very hail-heavy state, as is Texas, right? So if you know that there's going to be negligent weather or harsh weather rather in the future, it's a great opportunity to be proactive to say, hey, y'all, it looks like we've got a little bit of weather coming up. Let's go ahead and make sure we're getting on the schedule for the following week so we can inspect your roof to make sure that there is no hail damage. And if there is, we're getting ahead of whatever damage that might be, and we're not going to end up with something that's a hole in the roof that's letting water come in for the next 5 years. We end up with a much, much worse solution. So something to think through is just how do we proactively make sure that people are inspecting and maintaining the products that you're selling them? How do you use this as an opportunity to be the pro to help them ensure that if there is a major weather event, that you're there as the expert and as the person that cares about them to make sure that they are in the right space to get those ultimate follow-up appointments and get those scheduled opportunities on the books that you can then run through Leap. All right, as I mentioned a moment ago, I grew up in a real estate family, so the home sale is a lot of fun. As we mentioned a moment ago, the importance of regular maintenance inspections is great to make sure you're taking care of these big, large purchase items that you're getting. But something like this is a great opportunity to really start working with folks like not only the individual homeowner, but the real estate agents. So not only don't think about marketing to those individual homeowners, but it's a great opportunity to expand to folks that are in the real estate industry, right? So you might say, hey, if you are working with a potential client that wants to sell, let's go ahead and do a basic once over inspection and make sure that we are being proactive and taking care of these basic repairs so they're not showing up on this inspection report at a later date. What that's ultimately going to help you do is show the potential buyer that the home has been well maintained and taken care of. You're also not going to have to deduct the cost of the home when you sell it. So it really gives you an opportunity as the service professional to say, look, we're in this together. I added this roof. I added these windows. I know you're going to be potentially selling the home. Let me come back through, make sure everything is in tip-top shape before you list it. And that way you're going to be maximizing the value of the sale of your home. And it's, again, a really great way to be the trusted local expert that acts like a neighbor, that isn't in it for the transactional services, and that is really in it with the homeowner for the long haul. With that being said, you've sent out, you've gotten the chats, you got the deal done with Leap and selling it, you've got your reviews, and you're working through these long tail kind of automated solutions to stay top of mind. I just wanted to show this real quick is our snapshot of our dashboard where we'll show you things like how many marketable contacts you have available. Are we proactively driving reviews to these various solutions that you want, like a Google, a Facebook, a Yelp? And what you're looking there in the center with the bar charts is a comparison of the marketing messages that are sent. So if you were to actually hover over that, we will show you how many new customer campaigns were sent, how many campaigns were sent to people that are active customers, and how many campaigns were sent to those that you're trying to win back or ask for a review based on the service that you provided. So much like Leap, we want to show you where that job is in the process, and we want to show you where that customer is in their marketing life cycle so that you can be aware of those touch points and how to educate them and make sure that they are coming back for repeat business or advocating for you within their communities because you are taking care of them in such a nice way.
Awesome, Tom. Really, really good content, really good advice and stuff for folks to take away from here. So I want to begin to wrap this up here. We do have time for a Q&A here in a few minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A or the chat feature, and we'll make sure to get to them. I just wanted to quickly remind everybody, the 5 things that you should be aware of during the sales presentation. Capture as much homeowner data as possible, provide transparency in your estimate, have a powerful sales presentation, be a storyteller, always offer payment options, and be prepared to close the deal from anywhere. So Leap can certainly help in all of those. Leap is a point of sale application that's digitizing the entire sales process. So obviously we can help with those. If you'd like to have a conversation with us, we are running a promotion. If you have a conversation with one of us, we'll send you a gift card for lunch, and if it's a good fit, you can also get $500 off to use towards your Leap subscription. So we've got some great offers going on right now. I'm going to launch a quick poll if I can do this. If you'd like to learn more about Leap or Signpost, please let us know. You can certainly take advantage of those offers. So I'll leave this up here again for a few seconds here and let folks answer. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop that in the Q&A section or the chat function, and we'll be sure to get those answers for you. Sweet. And also just a reminder, we are giving away that Amazon show here at the end. So stay tuned for that. All right, I'm going to give this poll 5 more seconds. I learned this 5-second rule from one of our other partners, and he said, we were on a call, and he said, if I give everybody 5 seconds, and if nobody answers, then we move on. So actually, so some more answers are coming in. Just a couple more seconds and wrap that up. Awesome, cool, appreciate all the interest. All right, so we'll move on now to the Q&A portion. Awesome. Let me check my Q&A here. First question I have, Thomas, for you. Which third-party services does Signpost integrate with?
Yeah, great question, Dave. Thanks so much for attending, and great question. So as I mentioned earlier on the call, I head up our tech partnerships, and I nerd out on integrations. So we integrate with, right now, about a dozen native integrations, and those are things like QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, FreshBooks, Square, Stripe. We also integrate with some other marketing solutions like Constant Contact and MailChimp. And then as well, specifically within the field services space, we're integrating with Leap, House Call Pro, Job Nimbus is coming down the pipeline here actually any day. And then as well with Home Advisor. But I'm going to go ahead and just drop this in the chat, which is a link to our integrations overview page in our support panel. But great question, glad you asked. And hoping that folks connect their tools so that data flows automatically and you don't have to manually export from system A to system B. There is one particular integration I would like to call out, and that is with a platform called Zapier. It's Zapier, and effectively what it is it is an integration platform. They're able to connect more than 2,000 tools with one another. So if you do have something happen in one particular platform, you can automatically pass that data over to another. So Signpost is integrated with that platform, as are some other home service providers, as well as a long tail of marketing solutions and payment and accounting platforms. So would highly recommend checking that out if there's not a native integration that you're specifically looking for.
Yeah, awesome. Great answer, Tom. Yeah, Zapier is very robust and powerful, and it's a great one to highlight. I guess along that same lines, Rick wrote in, how would Leap or Signpost integrate with a CRM like Job Progress? And Tom, I'll let you take this first.
Yeah, great question. So Rick, at this time, we don't have a native integration with Job Progress. It is something that we are actively talking with our team about, but I couldn't give you a dedicated kind of timeline for something like that. I'm actually pulling up Zapier right now to see if they have a Job Progress integration, and they do. They do, yeah. What you could do is you could sign up for Zapier. Again, it is a third-party tool, so there could potentially be an additional cost incurred, but that would allow you to take information from Job Progress, and if you add a new customer or they reach a particular stage in your CRM flow, you can then tell it to kick over to Signpost. Yeah, yep, absolutely. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, we are working on an integration with Job Progress, so that should be coming down soon. We also integrate with Job Nimbus, Market Sharp, Improve It 360. Leap Perfection, Salesforce. So hope that answers your question. Yep. And Rick, I'm just dropping in the chat here now a link to the job progress overview page in Zapier. It does look like it is listed in beta, which means that you'll need to reach out to the team to get access to it. It's just kind of it's a limited release, and the reason why they do that is they want to make sure that there are no bugs before they open it up to the broader audience. But that'll be the best path forward to making sure that you're getting that connected with the tools that you use every day.
Awesome, Tom. Well, I think we answered all the questions. I think we did a really good job of presenting, right? We didn't leave any open-ended questions, so that's awesome. If you do have a question, I'm going to actually have Kelly put up our contact information. Well, I guess first we'll give away this Amazon Echo Show. I can't say this, or else I'm worried that she might respond to me. So I won't say that. But the winner of our let me actually pull it up here because Kelly just sent it to me. The winner is Shane Anderegg. I hope I didn't mess your last name up, Shane. But you are the winner of the Amazon Echo Show. So we will reach out to you to get your details to be able to send that to you. But congratulations.
Congratulations on being able to FaceTime your grandmother. It's exciting.
Yes. So here's our contact information. If you have further questions, please feel free to reach out to us, whether it's about Leap or about Signpost, and we'll be happy to get those questions answered for you. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about Leap or Signpost or both, our contact information is on your screen. Tom, before we go, I'll give it to you for any last thoughts.
Just want to say, everyone, thank you so much for spending time with us. Always love talking through the kind of marketing flow and how to educate users on proving that you are the subject matter expert and that you are working in their best interests. And I hope you'll have a great weekend when it rolls around and a good holiday week next week.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Tom. Really appreciate it. I'm super excited about this partnership with Signpost, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these with you and sharing more great advice and content for our customers. So appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we need a buddy comedy, The Adventures of Tom and Home Services.
Tom squared.
There we
Absolutely.
go.
Well,
Sounds
awesome.
great.
Well, give everybody back some time in their day. Appreciate it and have a great day.
All right, y'all have a great day. Take care.